Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm Parker Eimerl, and this is the Conversation Station. In today's episode, I'm excited. I want to cover the topic of opportunities and how some opportunities come, but most opportunities are created. But before we get into that, today is day 16 of 30 and 30. And it is, just as hard as ever. And I think it's just interesting for me to look at it as how hard it is, but realize how positive it is, right? Because I'm tired right now. Realistically, I didn't want to go record this, but it is a requirement for me, right? At this point, I have to do it. I made a commitment. And it's just interesting to reflect on how our commitments affect us and how they drive us to be better people. So as I think about the idea of opportunities come along, but most opportunities are created. In that, for every one opportunity that just happens to come into our lives, the next 7, 8, 9, 10, an infinite number are created. But also the opportunities that come into our lives were created by someone else for us. And so we need to shift our mind from waiting for the opportunity as opposed to creating it. Every single guest I've had on the podcast, with the exception of the first episode of the show where I was pushed to do it by my first guest. But since then, every single guest, every single conversation I've had on the show with a guest, that was me creating that opportunity. And yes, by creating that opportunity, I've had other opportunities be created because I reached out and because I networked with those people. But those opportunities were indirectly created by me. Yes, the person that I talked to brought the opportunity to me, but they wouldn't have brought it to me if I hadn't, reached out to them. And so I just want you, everyone listening, to think about the importance, right, of these opportunities, right? And I want you to remember the most important part in creating an opportunity is to take action, right? So it goes for many different routes of life. When we look at any person who's gotten any sort of opportunity, someone usually worked really hard for that opportunity. Now, it's not always that person, but someone created the opportunity. And the best thing that can happen to you is you can learn to create your own opportunities and not rely on others for the opportunities. And I think because once you get there, you can fully realize the control you have upon your life and very easily create the life you want by just putting in the work to create the opportunities that you want to create. In business, every sale was created, and that's an opportunity to make money. Every client that comes along was in some way created, whether it be through word of mouth, through digital advertisement, through physical advertisement, through multimedia. It was all created. Everything in our lives is created on every single level. So we need to make sure that we are also creating opportunities for ourselves, but also creating opportunities for others, because when you create an opportunity for someone else, you put an opportunity out into the world that will one day come back to you, right? And it might not be direct. It might not be as obvious as it may seem, but sometimes it is. I know people who did free work for someone 4 years ago and just got multi, 5, 6 figure deals with the companies they're at now. And so you have to provide value. You have to create opportunities, create the life you want in order for other people to help you along your journey of creating that. I think a lot of the things that are in my life now, right? A lot of the people I've gotten to talk to and just the people I've been able to be around wouldn't be in my life if I didn't do something else in the past. Now, I do think that when you are a child, a lot of the time your parents help you create those opportunities, but we can't become reliant upon our parents to create opportunities for us. Because then when we're out in the world, we won't know what the hell to do. So I guess the thought I want to put out to you as the audience is, what opportunity do you want, right? What do you want in your life? And not what do you want at the end goal. What opportunity would you love to have? And what are the multiple different routes to get there? And which route do you want to take? And explore it, right? Explore it, but don't over-explore it, right? You can't research every aspect of it and overanalyze the opportunity. Just research it enough to know that it's the way to get to that opportunity, and it's the way that you want to go to that opportunity, and then just go. Just go. Do. Don't wait around for the world to force you to do it or to help you to do it. The second you start doing it, the world will help you. People will come into your life who want to help you achieve this thing. But you have to start working towards it first. I think the interesting thing is, we all know people that we all have been in situations where we are less inclined to help someone, whether this is right or not. You are less inclined to help someone if they haven't put in the effort themselves. And so you need to put in the effort so that others will be willing to help you. And I think it's an important concept to grasp, especially being young, you know, having all the opportunities in the world. You literally have every opportunity at your fingertips. You just have to shift your behavior, your mindset, and your way of life to create the life you want. Right? I mean, we all see this. We all know people who just seem to be living a life that they enjoy, and they created that life. Now, I'm not talking about Instagram. Instagram, you know, everyone's living a perfect life, right? You know, everyone does their little family photo shoots out in a pumpkin patch, but only 1% of those people are living the life they want to live. But those are the people that have created the opportunities, that have worked hard enough to live that life and to be able to be happy. And I think I've talked about a lot of the aspects that go into creating this life. But the most important step is to just go, do, and work, right? Go to work. Work hard. Work harder than everyone else. But don't get caught up in the rat race. Make sure that you are working harder than everyone else, but you aren't working like everyone else, right? Because if you are doing the same thing as everyone else, just harder, then yes, that is beneficial. But your mindset needs to, at least, at the bare minimum, your mindset needs to be different so that you don't get caught up and so that you don't lose sight of what's important, right? The definition of success is not money. It's not fame. It's not any of these things. In my opinion, the definition of success is living a sustainably happy lifestyle. Right? I shared this a couple of months ago, and it was a clip from Gary Vee where he said, I know people who make $30,000 a year who are the happiest people I know, and I know people who make $30 million a year who are absolutely miserable. Remember, money doesn't change who you are, it only amplifies it. So you need to create the life you want, right? Internally and externally, and start working towards that life and allow the money to just be an accelerator towards the life you want to live, right? And that's the point, right? The point is to create the opportunities that align with who you want to be. And sometimes an opportunity will come along and you can't take advantage of it, right? Because you're not in the position to. But at least you know that you put in the work to create that opportunity. And that's rewarding in itself. I mean, we all have opportunities that we just aren't in the position to do, right? If you get a job offer on the other side of the country and you can't move, well then, you're not in a position to take advantage of that opportunity. But at the bare minimum, you created it and you created it. And that's important. It is important that we create opportunities for ourselves because we know that we put in the work. We know that it wasn't given to us on a silver platter. That's why we see people whose families are so incredibly rich or successful. Oftentimes, they lack the ambition and the desire and the happiness versus someone who lived in poverty and got out of it, because the person who was in poverty created their opportunities. They weren't handed to them. And so when you have to fight for your opportunities, it gives you a whole new perspective on your life. And I think that is where I'm going to end things off in this episode. And I want to thank you guys. Keep listening. Keep sharing the episodes. Really just trying to keep growing on this. And more so than that, be intentional in your lives. Live life, man. Be happy. And if you aren't happy, find out why and change that as soon as possible. Thank you guys. Thank you guys at home for watching. I'm Parker Eimerl. I've been talking to you, and this has been The Conversation Station.